In today's video, we are going to discuss no more Photoshop. The real deal is here. Also, we're going to talk about why at age 35, I am going to go back to college to attempt to play college football. And the Baltimore Ravens are going to bring in a former All-Pro for a tryout today. All this and more coming up.
Either way it's fine.
Now. As the Baltimore Ravens began the first day of OTAs on Monday, we got our first look at Derrick Henry in a Baltimore Ravens uniform. Throughout the offseason, Derrick Henry has been photoshopped in a Ravens uniform, but we finally got to see him in action. Now, even though this is not technically a real practice, it is pretty much walkthroughs, just going through certain drills. We get our first look at Derrick Henry. Hopefully, they will come out with videos later today, and we will possibly see what went through this process. As I, like most of you all, are interested in seeing what Lamar Jackson has in store for us going into year 7, to see the progression that he's made, especially with him having a running mate that is on equal footing. Throughout Lamar's first 6 years in the league, sans his first season where he did not start the beginning of the season, the Baltimore Ravens quarterback has been our leading rusher, regardless if he's played all the games or if he's played nearly half the games. Lamar Jackson has been run a little bit too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. And the Ravens brought in Derrick Henry, hopefully fingers crossed, to take over that lead rushing role. Hopefully the Ravens won't become, once again, too Lamar reliant in the ground game, and hoping that he overcompensates for the inconsistencies of this offense. Hopefully the Ravens finally learn their lesson as far as running the ball and how important it is to the team. As for our analytics-driven coach, he should know what his record is when he doesn't rush the ball 20 times during a game. And I think right now it stands at 0 for 31. So bringing in a talent like Derrick Henry can only help the Baltimore Ravens get to where we need to go. And we don't have to wait too long, because first game of the season, we get the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions. Derrick Henry has a history of running all over the Kansas City Chiefs. And let's hope that this season is not any different. There have been some of us who have been a little skeptical about what Derrick Henry brings to the table going after he's had 1,800 plus carries in the NFL. We don't need him to be Super Henry. We don't need him to be King Henry. He can be Prince Henry for all I care. As long as he rushes for at least 1,100 yards, maybe gives us 6-8 touchdowns on the ground, he will be taking some of the hits away from Lamar Jackson. Former league MVP, former all-world running back Sean Alexander was recently on DK Adams' podcast, and he said he thinks that Derrick Henry is going to continue to dominate for years to come. He trains like a small dude, but he pushes around a lot of weight, and he keeps his body in pristine shape. And I will say, this is one thing that we do not have to worry about with Derrick Henry is that dude always looks in shape. And as you can see by this clip here, this dude is bigger than our all-pro linebacker. It is a scary thought to have Lamar Jackson and his speed and then Derrick Henry and his size coming at you, and you don't know which way to go. So you can't even set your feet to tackle somebody. You have to hit them on the run. So you don't know which way you're going to go.
Well, which way did it go, George? Which way did it go?
So for me, this season comes down to what Todd Monken has in store, how he plans to roll out this offense, the play designs, and how they are utilized from game in and game out. So hopefully the Ravens have found one. Hopefully this is what takes us over the top. Hopefully Derrick Henry can give us at least a glimpse of what he was. Not to say that he won't, but you never know from year to year. But when it comes to looking the part, Derrick Henry's got it, dude. I ain't gonna hold you. Next up, we're gonna talk about me going back to college at a young, ripe age of 35 to play college football. I don't know what position I'm going to play yet. Don't know what I'm going to try out for, but damn it, I'm going out and I'm going to be a college football player.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological.
I always wanted to play in the pros. Didn't have the talent. Maybe I had the talent. I don't know. Never really tried that hard. After a certain point, you go to high school, you get interested in girls, and certain things just go by the wayside. But I just saw an article that let me know I don't have to go to the NFL to get paid. I don't even have to be the best of the best of the best. I can get paid just being an average dude. And the reason I say I want to go back to college and play college football is a report just came out about how much college athletes in football make from NIL deals. Starting with the quarterbacks, of course, they are the highest paid. They get paid between $500,000 and $800,000. That's a lot of coins for a college athlete. When it comes to the running back position, they get paid $200,000 to $300,000 a year. My natural position is pretty low. Wide receivers get paid between $75,000 and $300,000 per year. And I don't think that really sits right. Like $75,000 for a wide receiver. They do help make the quarterbacks look good. It's probably the second most important position on the field, in my opinion. Pretty low. Oh well. Then you have the offensive linemen who make between $300,000 and $500,000. Defensive linemen can make anywhere from $250,000 to $600,000. Linebackers can make between $100,000 and $300,000. And the deal, it's kind of low for a linebacker, but I guess that kind of phased out of the game a little bit, unless you're an edge. But still, for the college athlete, it's not bad money, especially if you aren't one of the best in the country. Then finally, they have the defensive backs who can make between $120,000 and $225,000. And I would think that if the quarterback is the most important, you need people to help defend against the quarterbacks. But since wide receivers are so low, I guess defensive backs would be so low. And I'm saying low, like $225,000, $300,000 isn't a lot of money, especially for a student athlete. A lot of money. So what's today? Today's the 21st, May 21st. Today is the day I begin my training for my college football tryouts. I need to go out here and get this money. It's ridiculous. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, because they generate billions of dollars annual for the NCAA. These student athletes build additions to campuses. They give the schools even more funding. So for those that think that these kids should not get paid, something is wrong with you, because everybody else gets paid around them. You go out here and you get this quarterback and he takes you to the national championship, and he can't even go out and buy himself a sandwich because he couldn't afford it in years past, but the head coach is getting $7 million per year. That does not make sense. So to me, hey, all props to them. Comeback starts now. And if you didn't know, it was all a joke. I'm joking. I'm not 35 years old, obviously. I'm 30. Next up, the Baltimore Ravens are bringing in safety Jamal Adams today. Jamal Adams is a 3-time Pro Bowler, a 1-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro at the safety position. He was drafted number 6 overall in the 2017 draft by the New York Jets, where he played 3 seasons, and he was damn good. I'm not gonna lie. Then he got traded to the Seattle Seahawks in 2020. If I'm not mistaken, it was for 2 first and a second or something. The New York Jets received quite a haul for Jamal Adams. But the problem with Jamal Adams, which has never been about talent, it's been about him staying healthy. I do believe over the last 2 seasons, he's only played in about 12 games, 10 games. And I think this is why the Seattle Seahawks let him go. When he is in and he is on, he is one of the most talented safeties there is in the NFL, but he just is never on the field. It's like once he seems to get a season going and he seems to get started, there's always a freak injury and he just doesn't play again. But the Baltimore Ravens are looking for that third safety. Justin Simmons is still out there. We still have our Darius Washington, even though he has injury concerns of his own. So bringing in Jamal Adams, a lot of people are going to say, what can this hurt? And to me, it can't hurt anything. Bring him in, see what he has to offer. But once again, we are still going more defense. We never get tired of bringing in more defense. If the Ravens address the wide receiver position like they address cornerback and safety, we would probably be okay right now. Jamal Adams is possibly a low-risk, high-reward player, but we don't know. But that's not the point. Point is equal. Treat your children equally. We understand you have a favorite, but let's not make it so blatant that everybody in the world knows that you love this child over that one right here. At least show some love to this kid. Like, let them know that they're wanted. Let them know that they are valued. You know, hold them. Tell them you love them every once in a while. Don't just keep saying them and be like, what's up? Oh, word? All right. And then you're just over here, I can't live my life without you. Like,
And I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
come on. This may possibly be a good move, especially dependent upon price point, because the Baltimore Ravens right now only have about $5.5 million left under the salary cap. So it's not a lot of money to play with. And I guess to round out the rest of this team, they have to find cheaper options. And I don't want a cheaper option at wide receiver. So Ravens, you gotta make some moves. You gotta do something. I don't know. Well, I guess the Ravens do believe that they made a move, because yesterday the Ravens signed Kadir Ishmael, who is the son of former Ravens wide receiver Kadir Ishmael.
Who's the only team to beat the Tennessee Titans in the Delphi Coliseum?
Don't know how much difference this is really going to make, but once again, you know Ravens fans love the undrafted free agents. They love to say how they're going to come in and change the complexity, change the makeup of this team. I don't know. I personally think it was a lovely gesture that you took one of your former players and brought their son into the organization, just like with Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell is potentially in line to become a star. We don't know what Kadir has in store for him. Hopefully he makes the team. It is a feel-good story. It is something that the Ravens can be proud of. But as far as talent goes and surrounding Lamar with it, this ain't it. But you know what is it? Like it and subscribe. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this content, turn on your notifications so you're aware when I come out with brand new videos. And until next time, or at least later today, if some great news tends to come out, it's your boy. We're done.